yeah. So this is what I've been doing. Like I'm gonna make anyone forget, right? Okay, so all I really do is a lot of tweaking to this. And this is supposed to be that sequel to that story, not sequel, prequel to the story with Sam and Lila. Sorry, I don't want everyone looking up my nose. All right, so that's Silas. I mean, I could talk about his outfit. This is like wearing a military uniform. The sash with the gold brooch, and that idea came from the other character before I even came up with this idea. I decided that if the sorcerers wanted to earn a name for themselves, they had to go serve on a ship for a few years. So in order to earn their prestige, he had to go serve on a like a ship's mage, and protect the ship, and doing the history, I mean, if it was in the 1600s, and this is kind of complicated because everything's kind of based on 1600s, like early 1600s, but it's not Earth, okay? So if you were on Earth, and you'd have to wait for somewhere in the early 1700s for pirates with the Jolly Roger, the skull and crossbones flag to appear. So I'm trying to keep that accurate. So there's no pirate ships with the Jolly Roger flag. They might have maybe a black flag to indicate that they're pirates. So instead of the Jolly Roger, I decided that all merchant ships would warn pirate ships that they had a sorcerer on board, and they would have a special flag that was red with a gold eye on it, and it would be called the Crimson Eye. Okay, so that's what he's wearing, is a Crimson Eye brooch, and he's very proud of that. So even though he's not serving on a ship, it's like his military uniform. And if he goes out in the country and he wears that, everyone knows, oh, that is a sorcerer. Don't bother him. So he's really proud of that. I was talking about, okay, so the lady beside him is his wife, Angeline. He was betrothed to marry her. He didn't originally love her. He loved his master's daughter, Sabina. The little girl is actually Sabina's daughter, so she's illegitimate. That's Priscilla. She often goes by Sissy. So yeah, this is a pretty dysfunctional family. They're not very happy together. He tried to get out of the marriage, but then he did find something, that he liked about Angeline, enough to win her affection. But the marriage was not very happy. Last night I did ask Richard Paul if he would go ahead and write a ballad for Angeline to sing, because that would be her special talent, that she's a musician, and that's one of the things that kind of attracts Silas to her, is that she can sing. So he quickly penned some, well, typed, texted, let's see, a ballad. I'm pretty impressed, because what I did was I just kind of like left a big hole, and I'll get back to it later. I just want to write this story, and I thought, well, okay, so suppose, like, when I wrote it, like, the whole idea, well, when I wrote the story, that part, the whole idea was, he had told her that, Silas had told her that he didn't want to marry her, he was going to break off the engagement, and she became very melancholy and suicidal. And, like, she was acting like a really miserable teenager. And because her family, all they were doing was telling her that, her worth was, was in attracting a man with a good fortune, which is, pretty miserable. That she wasn't really good for anything else. And obviously I said she was kind of multi-talented, and she could play lots of instruments, and she could sing. She's a bit of a ditz, but maybe if they told her that she could do a few other things, maybe she would discover that she really didn't need to marry a sorcerer. And unfortunately, this is a very patriarchal society, so yeah, that's the kind of the bummer about this. But I hope I can kind of steer this story away from that a little bit. Well, if I was, I'm not going to sing it, but if I was to put some minor chords to this, and it did actually go down. I said something on the lines of, there is a tavern in the town, to the feel of green sleeves. All right, take care. Bye.